Into the Friday Take podcast here on YouTube, the channel for X106 Sports. I'm Devin Albertson. I will be joined today by Luke Sanders as we talk Bearcat football as well as the NFL and college football on today's show. Our show runs from 9 to 10 a.m. Central Time on KZLX LP in Maryville, 106.7. Also find us at kzlxfm.com and the TuneIn Radio app. Just search KZLX. You can find us on there. But now this is our YouTube channel, so you can check out the show. I will be posting it to this every Friday, so make sure you tune in there as we talked the NFL, college football, and Bearcat football here on today's show. So enjoy the podcast here on YouTube. How is everybody doing this morning? I'm Devin Albertson, joined by Luke Sanders. Jordan will be here in a little bit, we believe. But right now we're going to jump right in and talking about Bearcat football last week down at Arrowhead. The Bearcats sneaked away with the win, 24-20 on a touchdown with 7 seconds left to go from Martin to Bishop. And I know you were at the game too, Luke. That was an insane game last week at Arrowhead.
Yeah, that was a really fun game. I was really nervous, especially at the end. Like, when they scored, I was like, oh, man. But it was just funny because, like, it was like our side was silent, and then UCM side was super loud, and then we scored, and you just saw every UCM fan be like I should have known this was going to happen, but I kind of got excited.
Yeah. I mean, that kind of happens, especially when you have UCM. I mean, after the game, right after that touchdown, I said this is 2015, where Northwest drove down final minute of the game, scored under a minute left with actually Brady Bowles at the time running in a touchdown to give Northwest a 4-point win over UCM whenever UCM thought they had the game in hand. So this was pretty even more because there were 7 seconds on the clock and our offense did nothing for 3 quarters.
That D coordinator for UCM should be fired.
That was a questionable call to play bump man coverage with 1 safety over the top on Sean Bain Jr. It's questionable. It's a bold strategy, to say the least.
I mean, I looked at I forget who I was standing by. I think it was somebody that has no idea what football was, so it didn't really matter. But I was like, why are they running cover 1? Like, you have like 20 seconds left, and all you have to do is stop a deep pass. Like, if you do that, you're probably gonna win. And
it's not like Sean Bain had burned the drive before that would have been a touchdown if he would have caught it.
Yeah.
On the same
he
play.
He burned him the whole time.
Yeah,
they're just thinking he was going to drop it again, apparently.
I guess so, but he did make the catch down to the 7-yard line, and then Martin found Bishop on, I think it was his third option, actually. I think he was going to go Sykes on the right side, Woods in the other slot, and then finally found Bishop across the middle. Because if you watch the video, it's pretty easy to see his progression through the routes there, and you can see Sykes, Woods, and he finally found Bishop across the middle for the touchdown, and everybody kind of went crazy after that.
Yeah, it was even better that it was on that kid that tweeted the thing about the streak is over.
Because he was playing like the middle of the field there.
Yeah.
That was his area.
Dang.
So stuff happens. I mean,
karma will get you, man.
He was very humbled on Twitter after the game.
What's he going to say?
Shut down his Twitter account.
So he should have done.
He faced the music. I mean, he owned it. So
kind of.
He did. I mean, he was
I'm not impressed.
A little overconfident. I give him a little bit of credit for still coming back and halfway apologizing a little bit in his own way. I mean, it's Twitter, so it's really hard to tell tone. But I don't know. I thought it was much better than the initial tweet.
I just don't get what he's going to come out and say.
By the way, okay, his initial tweet, if everybody forgets somehow, Jackson Newman said, PSA, the Bearcats 9.30.17, streak is over. He hashtagged it and everything. It did not happen, of course, as Northwest won 24-20. So, yeah, there's that. I don't know. So Northwest.
Don't poke the bear.
Don't poke the bear. Northwest probably should have won this game handily. It just their offense went stagnant from beginning of second quarter until end of the fourth. So you got to fix that.
UCM's team that I didn't think was that good. I wasn't impressed by a lot of things that they did. They put together a couple good drives, but I was also not impressed by Bowles. Not even a little bit. Oh man.
I mean, you're not impressed with 17 of 43 passing?
No. I didn't realize it was that bad, but
I mean, Martin wasn't accurate, but I mean, he was 17 for 39. Not a bunch of accuracy on the field there.
Martin hit a few more that should have been caught.
There was a couple drops there. You had Bain a couple times on the sideline. He also overthrew a couple players, so it was back and forth. Bowles actually also threw 2 interceptions, so he did throw over 309 yards. 61 of that did come on that one pass to their tight end over the middle.
Delaney Walker too?
Seth Abear. Yeah, he got that one for the 61-yard touchdown. They held their lead receiver, Jalen Zachary, to only 45 yards on 2 catches, and one of them was a 41-yard gain. So besides that one really big pass play, Zachary did not do anything versus Northwest. That's the best receiver they've ever had, and probably the best receiver in the MIAA we'll probably see, other than Sean Bain Jr. And of course, there's a guy this week for Central Oklahoma who is also very good. He has 881 yards receiving this year and 8 touchdowns through 5 games.
Not bad.
Yeah, so he's leading the MIAA in just about every receiving category. So we'll face a quarterback this week who's a lot more accurate than Bowles, but he's also pretty mobile as well. So I think he counts for 350 yards of offense between the air and the ground. He's also their leading rusher, so pretty good athlete there for Central Oklahoma. So we'll see. One thing with Central Oklahoma that I've noticed in doing research for this game is they can score some points. They're third in the conference in scoring with 35 points per game, and they are 10th in defense, allowing 34 points per game. So they're in a lot of close games. They're 2-3 on the year, but there are a couple plays here from being 5-0 and 4-1, and then vice versa being like 1-4. So a lot of close games there for the Bronchos, Central Oklahoma, because they can't spell their mascot right.
Hey man, there's a lot of people who can't spell their mascot right.
Yeah, team down in St. Joe. Northwest scores number 1 scoring defense, allowing under 7 points per game, and Northwest to score offense right now is 8th in the MIAA, averaging 30 points a game. So offense still isn't awful. I think they need to get, just in my own opinion, they need to get Jordan Thompson the ball a little more. Their true freshman running back. I mean, you pulled his red shirt. He's probably the most dynamic running back you have right now with the other guys being hurt. I don't know. I think he just needs to be a few more touches there, especially in certain situations. I like McMahon, but he's not the runner that Thompson is in certain situations.
Yeah, I would think about going back to a 2-quarterback system too. I mean, Martin's been really inaccurate, and it's frustrating, especially when you have receivers like Bain. And I know Bain did drop a couple, but like he was open like 6 or 7 times over the top that were just overthrown or underthrown or
just missed targets, miscommunication.
You can't miss open receivers like that.
Yeah.
And win against really good teams.
He missed Woods once down the middle of the field on a go route that he had him. Which I think if Bain been running the route, I'm not saying Woods is slow, but Bain is super fast. I think Bain catches it, but Woods, he didn't.
You got to know your receiver.
I know. That's still. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You get so used to throwing Bain the deep route, it's like you take a little bit off it.
Yeah, but
I know.
That's not an excuse for that. You got to hit whichever guy goes deep.
That sounds like big. It's like 5%. Very low, but it's just one of the little things that you have to watch for there. So we'll see what happens. They have done a little bit with that Wildcat, with that Anderson kid coming in, playing there, but kind of whenever Zimmerman did a couple years ago, we used to run every time. So defense is going to start getting ready for that. So the Wildcats, I think the Bearcats really missed Randy Smith to bring him in as that change of pace, and that it hurt last week that Shane Williams was out.
Yeah.
Kind of a safety net receiver for Barton that he has a good connection with. So, but we'll see what happens this week. They play Central Oklahoma, who is decent this year, so we'll see what happens. I know last year Northwest curb stomped them a little bit, so yeah, their quarterback is 2nd in the conference in passing yards, 305 per game, completion percentage of 63%, so his numbers are on par with Braxton Marshall for Emporia, and then, of course, Brooke Bowles for UCM. He's 3rd in passing yards, but he's also completing 50% of his passes. So there's that. Martin's still completing 67% of his passes, and he's 5th in the conference in passing yards. The only guy ahead of him is a kid from Fort Hays. So that's what we have there. The receiver does lead the league in receiving yards in JT Looper. Check out number 2 on the field. Make sure you kind of keep an eye on him. He has 42 catches for 881 yards, 8 touchdowns, 176 yards per game. So yeah, he's really good. Sean Bain's 4th in receiving yards per game, 87 yards per game. So Looper's doubled him up in receiving yards. So that's kind of insane. So we got a score prediction for this Saturday, Luke, for UCO.
Oh my!
Be on the spot here.
I'll go 49-3.
Oof.
We're gonna murder him.
I don't think I'm gonna go that far. I think it's gonna be what did I say earlier this week. I'll go 35-13. I think they get a long touchdown in there, a couple field goals. Their offense is a big play offense. I think they can get 1 or 2 big plays. So
we are known to give up the big play every once in a while.
Yeah, Northwest defense is stingy, but can give up the big play, and UCO is really good at getting the big play, but also giving up the big play. I think I looked this year of the touchdowns they've allowed, like 8 of them have been over 50 yards. Like, they just allow a lot of big plays on defense. So if you go look back at their game versus Missouri Western, all it is like 80-yard touchdowns. It's like, this is 8-man football. It's like so it was just ridiculous in that game. So Northwest this week for military appreciation. Of course, go to Bearcat EQ on Twitter and see what they have for the pictures of the helmets this week. It's a really cool concept. So go check those out if you're interested. Jersey designs. I know Bearcat Update had a story on it where you can see the whole jersey and stuff like that. So I know we tweeted that out from X106. So at X106_sports here at X106 Friday Take for this show. We all retweet all that stuff out. So UCO this weekend, and then you look forward to next week at Northeastern State, which is a really bad team. So Northwest should go on the road and get a win there. Then homecoming versus Lindenwood, who's been up and down this year, at Pitt State versus Fort Hays on senior night, and then at Missouri Western for the last game of the year. So right now Northwest 35 straight wins, 40 is the record. So the game versus Fort Hays, if they go undefeated to them, would be would tie the record. And if they get by Fort Hays, Missouri Western would be to break the record. So.
Oh, bad.
Yeah, so that should be interesting.
That Fort Hays game will be really, really tough, though.
Yes. Good thing it's at home. I don't want to go to play them at Hays. Do not want to go to Hays, Kansas.
Oh, but
no one wants to go to Hays, Kansas.
Tell me we break the streak at Mo West senior night. Oh, boy.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for that.
I will be there.
Other games going on this week in Bearcat sports. Soccer today versus Fort Hays State at 3 o'clock. Women volleyball at Nebraska Kearney at 6. And then on Saturday, cross country has at Tigers Open starting at 10:05 a.m. Of course, football game tomorrow at 1:30. We have the pregame show at 12:30 here on X106. And then Ryan, Elliott, and I will go on at 1:15 to start the broadcast. And then volleyball tomorrow at 2 o'clock at Fort Hays. And soccer on Sunday at 12:30 at home versus Nebraska Kearney. So they have Hays and Kearney this weekend, and so does volleyball team, just switch days and home roads. So that's what we have here. Women's golf at the Midwest Fall Classic on Monday and Tuesday next week. So we'll mention the women's golf team. Heard they got a pretty good assistant they're working from now. So shout out Japheth. That's all we got for Bearcat Sports. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit about the NFL and what's going to go on this weekend here on X106. And since the show ended, we've been told that the Northwest soccer team will play today versus Fort Hays at 1 o'clock instead of 3. So a correction from the live show to now, as we've had a little bit of updates right after our show ended at 10 o'clock. So soccer today at 1 p.m. instead of 3 p.m. versus Fort Hays on Friday afternoon. Up next, the guys talk about the NFL and college football on the Friday Take podcast. Welcome back into Friday Take. I am Devin Albertson, joined by Luke Sanders. As we're going to talk the NFL now, first game of the week happened last night where the Patriots eked out a win versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Nick Folk for the Bucs missed 3 field goals. Sign Simon Mathisen now if you want to make a field goal the rest of the year.
Yeah, let's go.
So I know people were tweeting that last night. I was among them because I thought it was funny.
How can kickers be this bad? I don't understand it.
You have one job.
And it's just like a curse on the Bucs.
Yes. Good job, Robert.
I don't think he started it.
He started it.
They drafted a kicker in the second round for a reason. It wasn't because they had a really good kicker to begin with.
I know. That's fair. The Patriots won last night 19-14 over the Buccaneers. The Bucs had plenty of opportunities to win that game. As we said, 3 missed field goals, 9 points off the board, and they had that late drive that ended in no points.
Yeah, because with 20 seconds left, you threw it right to the middle of the field. Like, what are you doing, James?
I don't understand the last play.
That was stupid, too. You got to put it up in the air, give your guy a chance.
Yeah. And you have Mike Evans.
No. He's not even tall.
Yeah, or athletic, or can
Or
judge.
jump high.
Yeah, that makes no sense. Or Deshaun Jackson back there, who's still, I don't know if he'd be good in that situation, but he's still a target. I know O.J. Howard's tall, but throwing to him right at the goal line behind him in triple coverage might not have been the best decision.
I mean, what do we know? We just played 8-man.
Yeah, so I was just baffled. I was sitting there last night watching the end of the game, like, why? First of all, it's the Patriots pass rush. You should have time to throw.
They actually kind of got there quicker than I expected. He had a little more time than what he threw it, but
It's like
they were coming.
I'm like, bro, just like if you throw it up to Evans and it doesn't get completed, I'm like, you know what? Fair. I mean,
Yeah.
you try to give your best guy an opportunity to get the ball, who's really athletic and your jump ball receiver. Give him a shot. I mean,
even if you give O.J. Howard right there a jump ball, I'm not
a
mad
jump
about
ball,
it.
yeah, not a skinny post and triple coverage. Throw him behind him 3 yards.
Yeah.
Whenever he's waiting to get the end zone to look for the ball because you know what, you need a touchdown. So I didn't understand that late, but the Buccaneers fall to 2-2. The Patriots survive, move on to 3-2 on the year. We'll go to the games there on Sunday. Actually, one game that we're not really going to talk about a whole lot, but I'm just kind of surprised about the spread on this one. The Bills at the Bengals. The Bengals are 3-point favorites at home.
Wow.
So I don't know what Vegas knows that I don't know, but it's bugging me.
Yeah, that's
It makes no sense.
baffling. I don't know.
I didn't really realize this was the spread until I listened to Colin Cowherd's show, and they did the Hunch or Lunch, and this was one of them. And he had, the Bills, -3. Like, no, Bengals are favored by 3. He's like, I already know one of my picks for the Blazing 5. So he's probably going to get that one wrong, because every time you think you have one that's obvious, it's always dead wrong. So that's why I'm still cautious on that one, even though it seems obvious, the Bills. And that one just bugs me. It's going to eat away at me all day. Next one, we have...
The best player on the field is A.J. Green.
You mean Andy Dalton? I'm kidding.
I'm pretty sure I said A.J. Green.
Fair. Next on, sorry. Panthers at Lions, noon on Fox. Detroit's a 2.5 home favorite. Who you got in this one?
Wait, Panthers or Lions?
Yes.
The
In
Lions
Detroit.
are 2.5-point favorite?
Yes.
Which means that if it was a neutral site, that the Panthers would be favored?
By half a point, be pick 'em pretty much. It's pretty much a pick 'em game.
That doesn't make any sense either, though. The Lions should be favored by more than that.
I mean, Cam Newton straight up the Patriots defense, but he must be good.
Yeah, we'll wait till this week when he returns to 55% completion percentage of touchdown and a pick.
I mean, if you saw what they did versus New England and how many guys were wide open.
Wide open. He didn't have to, put a ball. It's not NFL. It's not.
Who's their
real
backup
NFL.
quarterback there? Is it Derek Anderson
Yeah.
still? Derek Anderson would have had a similar game. I mean, it was that bad.
Less rushing yards, but yeah.
Yes, but obviously, but passing the ball.
You don't know. Derek Anderson's kind of mobile.
And the Patriots defense is not elite by any means anymore.
Well, they looked really good against Tampa Bay.
Also, because Jameis Winston's not overly
Yeah,
accurate.
but they didn't. They didn't miss coverages or anything like that.
They had less blown coverage, and it's impressive on a short week they were able to fix quite a bit of that.
Well, it's Bill. What do you expect? Everyone's like, Patriots are done. Their defense is going to stink. Tom Brady's going to get old. You're all going to be wrong. They're going to go probably 12-4, 11-5. They're going to win their division because it's not very good. And
Bills win the division. Hot take alert.
They're going to go to the AFC Championship game. You can just mark it down.
All right, we'll see.
You can say what you want. You can mark it down.
We'll see.
And honestly, I'm only not saying Super Bowl because I'm a Chiefs fan.
That's fair. I mean, I don't know. I need more data for this year's Patriots team, not from the last year.
The only way that they do not make the conference championship is if somehow Denver and KC both finish with higher. No, because never mind, that can't even work.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to the AFC Championship game.
No. It depends on who their matchup is in the round.
Well,
In the first game.
They'll be at home. I'm assuming that they'll be the one or the two.
Maybe.
Okay, well, if they're not, if they're the 3 or the 4, they will either play at Houston, which they will win.
Well, it'll be a home game for the first game, and then they'll be on the road the next week.
I'm not even worried about the first game.
Maybe you should be. Maybe what if they're the 3 seed and they get Denver's a 6 seed?
At New England?
Yeah.
Not worried.
Okay. I'd be a little worried if I was Patriots. Just smidge.
They can't play at Mile High.
They have
Denver
not
can't
played
win
well at
Gillette.
home this year.
It's not the playoffs.
Okay, we'll see. Yeah. Next game.
I'd put $20 on it right now, but
Seahawks at Rams, NFC West matchup. Rams are a 1-point home favorites. 3-1 on the year versus the 2-2 Seahawks. Who you got in this one?
I got the Rams. The Seahawks line looks really bad, and they have to play Aaron Donald.
He's kind of good, and Matt Longacre.
Yeah, they have to play Aaron Donald.
Matt Longacre, man.
I mean, Matt Longacre is solid. Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
Aaron Donald's a freak of nature. Who'd the Rams play last week? He played Dallas.
Dallas.
I was trying to think of it. He made that line
Look pedestrian.
look terrible.
Yeah.
And they're good. The Seahawks line is terrible, so I don't even know what he's going to make them look like.
They're going to triple team him. He's still going to get through. That's what's going to happen.
Oh.
Bold take. I don't know. That probably won't happen. You don't really triple team the NFL very often.
They might. They really might. Like, honestly.
That's how long it gets the sacks. 1-on-1, it's tackle. Let's go. Who's supposed to be a guard, probably.
Yeah.
Not even in the league.
Their defense is pretty good. But they kind of underperformed this year, which is weird. But it's okay, because Jared Goff is all of a sudden Superman.
Well, also the Seahawks defense has been on the field a lot because their offense can't get anything going because their offense line's bad. So it's kind of...
No, I meant the Rams.
Oh, well, yeah, the Rams defense is not great this year for some reason in the back end, even though they have Aaron Donald back now. But we'll see. I have the Rams in this one as well.
I think the Rams defense will make enough plays, and I just don't think that Seattle's elite anymore because their second corner is trash. Like, you cannot be...
Who is their second corner?
I can't even tell you.
That's not good.
They got Cam Chancellor, who covers holes. So there's not a lot of deep routes being beat on them.
And Earl Thomas is really good.
Yeah. So, there's not a lot of deep routes that are beat on them, but that corner can't cover anything. Like, any out, any curl.
He is the mark.
Oh, he is the Philip Gaines of the Seattle defense.
I love it. So, yeah, there's that. So we both have the Rams in that one. Next one, Ravens at Raiders. No Derek Carr. Raiders are still a 2.5-point favorite.
Yeah, that makes sense. Baltimore just looked terrible. E.J. Manuel did not look terrible for, the 5 passes he threw. The one he threw to Cooper, you had to give your guy a shot. It was 3rd and 10.
Yeah.
Not a great pass, but, you know.
You have to make a play.
I'm going to take the Ravens just because I think that if E.J. Manuel plays a full game, there's tape on E.J. Manuel. It's not like they don't know what he does.
He was fantastic in Buffalo.
He was trash can.
He was not good.
And Amari Cooper has the worst hands in the league, apparently.
Yeah, it's really kind of frustrating for me. I mean, he won't catch a pass. And
Crabtree didn't play last week, so I would assume he's not going to be 100% this week. Usually that's not how that works if you come off an injury and play the next week.
I'm looking for the injury report.
You have a slower game. So their receivers just...
He's not on the injury report.
At all?
No.
Well, maybe he wasn't hurt. Maybe he just didn't play. I don't know.
I'm going to look at the Oakland Raiders here. Full injury report. You keep talking.
Okay, well, I just assume that they'll be able to... And the Ravens' defense is hot and cold. So, I mean, the really good one I'm just going to expect to show up. Because they give up none to Cleveland, which I guess isn't that big of an accomplishment. But...
And they shut out Cincinnati.
They shut out Cincinnati, which also isn't that... I mean, they have A.J. Green, so to actually shut them out is...
That's not that the old OC and Andy Dalton forgot what a football was.
They still have A.J. Green.
I know, but he threw 4 picks that game. He was really bad. And I don't put that all on the Baltimore defense at this point. You'll have Blake Bortles to shred you up in London. I'm sorry.
That's what I'm saying. They're hot and cold. We're going back to hot.
Okay, I hope so. Need the Ravens to win this one. I'm taking the Ravens as well.
I don't feel like we really need the Ravens to win this one. I'm pretty sure the Raiders are pretty much out of contention.
I want some cushion here. I don't want them winning games without Derek Carr, okay? Let's just put it like that. Because right now, Derek Carr is listed for out. Is back, officially limited practice participant. And then DeAndre Washington, the running back, limited at practice for a hamstring. He's questionable for the game. That's the only 2 players they have on their injury report.
I'm just saying, if Ravens, if you screw this up and you lose to E.J. Manuel, I'm not betting on you the rest of the year. Done.
Yeah, did I tell you? No, I took Jacksonville last week to cover, so I was feeling good about the game.
That wasn't last week. That was 2 weeks ago.
Whatever. I took Baltimore last week versus Steelers at home. That did not work.
No, I did too.
Okay. Well, that's Pittsburgh on the road didn't play as well.
They really didn't play that well. Baltimore should. I'm really scared about taking Baltimore now. I think about it.
Last game that we're going to talk about before the Chiefs game. The Packers at the Cowboys. Cowboys are a 2-point favorite. This is the Fox game in the afternoon, of course.
Yeah, they get all the good ones. This game really puzzles me. I just don't know what to think. Because I don't think either of these teams are legit right now.
A lot of holes.
Yeah.
But the Packers might also be getting both their tackles back this week.
If that happens, I'm for sure taking.
Could be the first time this year they play together at the same time. Rodgers might actually have a pocket, and he can make passes and shred the Cowboy defense.
If he has time,
he's going to shred the defense.
That secondary is really bad.
Block Lawrence, and you're good.
They still don't have a running back. If I was Green Bay right now, I'd take my 3rd-round pick, maybe my 4th-round pick, because they're desperate, and I'd be like, hey, New Orleans.
AP?
Hey, New Orleans, I got a 4th-round pick. You want it? You can have it. You just got to give me that running back that you never use. Because, yes, Adrian Peterson's not good in New Orleans.
Bad system for him.
But he could be a 1st and a 2nd down running back for Green Bay.
Yes. And he gets revenge on...
And then when Ty Montgomery comes back, Ty Montgomery could be a 3rd down running back, which he kind of could do because...
And a slot receiver.
But he's like 5'10", 140, so running up the middle is probably not the best idea,
Why?
a.k.a. broken ribs.
Weak. I'm kidding.
Well, yeah,
I'm kidding.
well, no, like,
I know,
compared
it's not his fault that he's
Yeah.
small. I
compared
mean,
to NFL players, he is weak. He should not be running between the tackles against 280-pound defensive linemen.
that's fair. So, who you got in this game? In short.
I'm going to take the Packers. I'm not high on the Cowboys. Wasn't at the beginning of the year. I just think their line doesn't look good, which is really weird. That's not what I expected to happen. Green Bay's D-line isn't very good, though. So, I mean...
Are they getting their big D tackle back this week?
Daniels, I don't think he's back this week.
I'm going to look at the injury report.
Well, poor Dallas, dude. If they get their whole team back before they play Dallas.
Also, Sean Lee is still out for the Cowboys.
Yeah.
That's a big loss there in the middle because they can't stop anybody when he's not in there. So, yeah. And also, Devontae Adams is questionable for this week after getting murdered last week on Thursday Night Football against the Bears.
The more I watched it, the less dirty it was. Like, it was really dirty, but, like, I thought it was... Okay, no, the more I watch it, the less intentional it seems.
It seemed like he was hustling hard to make a play there at the end. It's just the way he went about it with the crown of his helmet was just wrong.
At first when I watched it, I thought it was dirty.
The technique was bad.
Intentionally dirty. But the more I watched it, I just think that he went in with bad technique and accidentally got him in the head.
Yeah.
And also watching the interview, like, he seemed sincerely sorry about it.
Once a Bronco, always a Bronco.
I mean, John Fox isn't exactly like the let's be soft and not hit anybody coach either.
It's true. So, one game suspension for Danny Trevathan on that hit.
Wait,
it was two.
He appealed it and won.
It was limited down to one game. So, he's down to one game.
Yeah, if the one on that Burfict put on Sherman was two, that's probably one because Sherman didn't even have the ball and got murdered. So.
Yeah, he did. That was unnecessary on a deep ball. So yeah, I don't see their D tackle on the injury report for the Packers. So, I don't know. I don't trust ESPN.
Well, yeah, because he was out, and Crabtree was out. I mean, I feel like they are at least on the report.
I don't understand. So, we'll see what happens with that one. I also have the Packers in this one. I think they're going to do fine against that Cowboys defense. I mean, if Jared Goff can shred the defense...
If both tackles are back, I think the Packers win by 2 touchdowns.
That's fair.
If both tackles aren't back, I think they win by...
I don't think the Packers' defense is great, but they're decent enough to slow down the Packers. I mean, you've talked about the Cowboys receivers. They're not...
No, they can't
get open. They can't separate versus defensive backs.
Except for they probably will be able to get a little separation against Green Bay's D-backs because they're not great.
We'll see what Clay Matthews
I think
can
that
do.
Cole Beasley will be a factor in this one. I don't think Dez is fast enough to be the one.
The Packers, the defense isn't overly fast either. And I know what you're saying here. They looked a really bad matchup versus Atlanta and their speed on offense.
Yeah.
There won't be that discrepancy versus Dallas.
Yeah, I think that actually a little bit fine. Clinton Dix can cover Beasley. I'm not worried about Dez Bryant in the slightest because all of a sudden he can't run, can't really catch.
J.C. Winton will catch
His
7
routes
routes.
have always been trash.
Yes.
That's like, you look at these receivers that are really athletic and the ones that can't run routes, like their career is short. Like you can't go anywhere after you're 30 years old and not be able to run good routes.
Yeah.
Like you look at like people like Julio, Calvin Johnson retired early, but like those people would have stayed a long time in the league because they run really efficient routes.
Larry Fitzgerald?
Well, yeah, but he was never a speed guy.
I know, but I'm just saying he ran.
Yeah, his routes are really good, but like he was. I'm talking about.
He wasn't ever. I don't know. He wasn't just a burner. I know what you're saying there, but he was.
I mean, he was fast, but he wasn't just like. He's not like Dez fast at the beginning, Julio fast. At the
AJ
beginning.
Green, yeah.
Yeah, AJ Green runs really good routes too, though.
If only AJ had a good quarterback to throw the ball.
Oh man.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine if Calvin Johnson would still be there now.
All right. Okay, so we'll go move on to. I also have the Packers winning that game. We'll go on to the Chiefs game, Sunday Night Football at the Houston Texans. This game opened up as a KC as a 1-point favorite. It's still there right now. I know it's switched back and forth between KC and Houston being favored, so pretty much a pick 'em in this game. So who do you got this one? Alex Smith versus Deshaun Watson on Sunday Night Football, NBC's Game of the Week.
Well, all right. For the record, I have picked Kansas City in both my Madden Predictor stuff and in our, like, we do a league where we pick all the spreads. I picked them every week in both of those things, I think. And I picked against them on the radio every week, so we're going to have to stick with that.
Yeah, nice cover last week, by the way.
Yeah. That's exactly how I saw that coming.
Justin Houston with the scoop and score to break the over and the
cover.
In the cover, KC +7.
You want to make his fans happy.
Yeah, he did. He did. He made a lot of people a lot of money. And he lost some people a lot of money who were feeling pretty good about the Kester things, too.
So, all right. I think that Kansas City can win this game if they play well. Like, if Alex plays the way he's been playing on offense. But if Tardif doesn't play, that's big because, obviously, J.J. Watt. We're going to want all of our linemen on deck.
Clowney, Whitley Merciless.
I mean, those people are all good, but J.J. Watt's J.J. Watt.
Yes.
And then the thing that really, really scares me is we watched Kirk Cousins run for like 60 yards last week. And Watson's a little faster than Kirk Cousins. And, hey, Bob, if you run cover zero defense the whole time with everyone running backwards, and Deshaun Watson takes off for 20 yards every play, and you just let that happen the whole game, I'm probably going to be really mad at you. Like always. Because I don't understand it.
Yeah.
We literally have people with great ball skills that would be so good at running zone defense, but we only play man, and it makes me so...
With a three-man rush. Somehow we played man with a three-man rush. I don't understand.
Like, how is Justin Houston on Vernon Davis? Explain.
Yeah, we have one of the best passers in the league. And let's not have him rush the passer.
You know, Kirk's like, Justin Houston isn't going to rush?
I'm going to throw at him.
And he's going to cover Vernon Davis? He's like, nah, that's not real. Like, okay, that's actually happening. We're going to go ahead and give him the ball. Like, that's a Kirk Cousins' dream right there.
Yes, you're not wrong. So, yeah, it's beyond frustrating sometimes watching the Chiefs' defense where it's like, what are we doing here? Anyways, injury report for the Chiefs, I found it on NFL.com. Had a lot more incentive here. Tardif did not practice last time. D4, his first name is actually Donald. I did not know that. He did not look like a Donald.
I didn't know that.
Me neither. I saw that. I'm like, Donald Ford did not participate in practice. Morris did not participate in practice. But Eric Fisher was a full participant. Benny Logan, full participant. Pierre Lewis.
Morris could play this week.
And then Alexander Smith was a full participant.
I don't even know who that is.
Alex.
Oh.
They put his full name on there. So, Alexander.
That's weird.
Alexander.
That totally threw me for a loop.
That's Donald Ford. He is the
Yeah, if you would have said that, I wouldn't have known anything about that either. But that's the Alexander thing's way worse. It's kind of embarrassing, actually. But
injury report for the Texans, they have did not participate. Kyle Fuller, one of their guards. Heaney, one of their linebackers, and Kevin Johnson, one of their corners. Limited participants, corner Burley, defensive end Covington, corner Kareem Jackson, their center, I can't say his last name, Whitney Merciless was limited, and one of the other guards was also limited. Full participants, though, some guys I've never heard of. So they just have a lot of guys in their roster who are a little bit banged up right now in Houston. So we'll see how that goes. They did just throttle, who was it last week? Tennessee. Did not see that coming. The Titans win that game. So also they have Crabtree as a full participant in practice. I went back to the Raiders thing, and he was fully participating in practice. So he's probably expected to play.
That doesn't make any sense. How do you miss a game and then be a full participant on Tuesday?
I don't ask questions.
Not on I guess it's not Tuesday, Thursday. But
it's Thursday. I mean, I don't ask questions, okay?
That's 4 days. Like, I understand if you're like a limited participant and then you play through the injury, but if in 4 days you're completely healthy, how could you not play through that injury?
Was it worth it, all right?
Yeah, you're right. Denver.
Don't get cheap shotted.
He just didn't want to play against Aqib Talib because he was still salty about the chain thing last year.
Aqib Talib's a punk. I hate that guy. I hate Talib.
I don't like him either, but...
There's nothing about him that I like. Nothing, not one thing. He went to Kansas. He played for the Patriots for the longest time. Now he plays for the Broncos. That one stint in Philly, I liked him. And then he just keeps going to places I hate.
If he played for someone you liked, he's your type of guy.
No, he's not.
Yeah.
Okay, he's kind of like Marcus Peters, but still.
Well, no, not Marcus Peters. I just like him because he plays for Kansas City. If he didn't, I probably would not like him.
Yeah, Marcus Peters and Travis Kelce are both.
You know your type of player you cheer for. You would like him.
No, I've never liked Aqib Talib. Never liked him.
If they're not a nice person on the field, you like them. That's your rule.
No, it's not.
Yeah, that's all your favorite players.
No.
That don't play for Kansas City.
Okay, it's not true.
Who's your favorite baseball player outside the Cardinals?
Outside the Cardinals? I don't even know. I don't watch enough baseball.
Don't you like Jose Bautista?
I defend Batista because everyone hates. Okay, I see your point. I defend people that everybody hates because they get crapped on by social media.
Well, I didn't care about the bat flip, but I still don't like Joey Bats.
Well, everyone else did, and I'm like, guys.
Josh Donaldson. I know that you defend him.
I defend him because the Royal fans love Eric Hosmer and they're the same person. And I want to show the light on that to people.
No, they look the same.
They are the same person. They are the same person on the baseball field.
No. Dude,
yes,
Donaldson's
they are.
Like the biggest, I don't know what words I can say right now, but
don't say it.
Jerk on the field.
They act the same. Oh my, it's the same thing. It's literally the same thing. I just can't handle it.
LeBron, don't even get me started. Oh my God.
What's LeBron ever done to you? I don't understand this one. I will say Grayson Allen. I defend him because everyone else hates him.
That might be the worst. Like, you're tripping, for real. Oh my, dude, I hate Grayson Allen.
I do want to see Pitts cross him over, though. What was October 27th?
If you think Grayson Allen's getting on the court that game, you're wrong.
He'll start on the court.
Him and Pitts will probably both play for about 4 minutes, so you got about 4 minutes.
Oh, I hope we see a crossover. Crossover to the floor.
Hey, guys, don't worry. If you want to go to the game, the tickets are only $140.
Really?
Yeah. And then you only got to pay $160 to fly there, and then $160 to fly back.
Wow. I have to work that night, so that's my excuse for not going, besides being broke.
I was thinking about it, but, like, I thought the tickets would be, like, $40. Like, it's an exhibition game.
Versus a T2 school.
Yeah. But no, they're, like, $140. I'm like, nah.
I mean, I guess we are big tickets since we won the national championship now, but, yeah.
I don't think that we're the big ticket item in that game.
Did they win a title last year? I don't think so. Did they get the gauntlet last year? No, they did not. Boom.
I mean, you're not wrong. None of your points are wrong. I'll give you that.
It's also D2, and not Division 1.
Would Duke have won the D2 national championship?
Maybe.
Yes.
We'll see. I like Coach Mack game plan against their guys.
We're going to play our 2s and 3s for the whole game. I mean, so are they, but their 2s and 3s are 5-star recruits, and
we had Zach Snyder.
we don't.
We would have last year.
Well, we don't play them last year. We play them now.
We have Ryan Welty.
He's really good, but
yeah,
it's
okay.
Duke.
I know this is one of the arguments. This is all me being sarcastic, people. I'm not doing this like.
He's not.
Would the Alabama Crimson Tide beat Cleveland? No, they would not. I hate that argument.
I mean,
shut up. I hate that argument so much.
The end of that argument is all of Alabama's best players are on teams like Cleveland. Like their very best players from the year before. And plus, if you think Jalen Hurts is throwing for more than 20 yards on an NFL defense, you're incorrect. That dude has an inaccurate arm and cannot read a defense.
He just take off and run by everybody.
He would probably run for 100 yards against Kansas City, but...
Yeah, people are dumb. I hate that so much. Oh, the closest thing I've ever saw to even having the discussions whenever Kentucky had like 5 first-round picks in their team, and Charlotte was like tanking and had no talent on their roster. But even then, Charlotte would have won a 7-game series. Even when Charlotte was bad.
Yeah,
they still
would have taken a couple games.
They still had Kemba Walker, who had dominated college basketball like 2 years before that at UConn.
Yeah, that Kentucky team would have taken a couple games, though, probably.
That's like the closest thing I've ever seen because they had so much first-round talent that played in the league.
That's
the closest I've ever seen.
In a 7-game series, that would be close.
It would have ended in 5 or 6.
Posts.
It would have ended in 5 or 6.
Anthony Davis, you can't tell me he wasn't ready. That's the year you're talking about, right? Anthony Davis is...
I think so, yes.
With him...
What year was that? I don't even know. 2013? I don't know, we got way off topic. But that's what kind of happened on this show. Anyways, we're just going to transition real quick. Any games in college football this week?
No, the only good game was last night in NC State.
There's 2 other games that are somewhat interesting here. West Virginia at TCU. Both teams are ranked.
College football's so bad.
I got TCU in that one.
I'll take TCU.
Number 13, Miami at Florida State.
I'll take Miami. Florida State hasn't looked very good since their quarterback went down.
Let's go to the U.
It's really unfortunate.
Let's go to the U. Yeah, because they're a really talented team. It's just they have no...
That makes the ACC really uninteresting.
I don't know. Miami, baby. The U's coming back. I hope. It's good for college football.
I don't think that Rick has the talent yet to compete with Clemson.
It's coming, though.
Yeah.
They're on the rise.
They're on the rise. They'll be good in a couple of years, but... Clemson is just so talented.
Yeah, no one's beating Clemson in that conference. So, Washington State at Oregon. That's like a 2-point spread right now.
Washington State surely favored, right?
Nope. It's in Eugene.
I'll take Washington State.
I think they're going to win, too, but I think it's a close game.
Yeah, but I don't see how they're not favored at this point. Has Oregon lost yet?
I do not remember. They're not ranked, so I'm guessing they have.
They looked pretty good against Nebraska, but Nebraska also lost.
They also looked really bad in the second half versus Nebraska.
Yeah. They lost to Northern Illinois, too. So, I mean.
Nebraska's great.
It's not a good judge.
Yeah, Oregon's 4-1. Their one loss is at Arizona State, so that's not great.
No, but it's always hard to go on the road in college football.
They lost by 2, about last-second field goal.
Yeah.
Actually, the Football Power Index at ESPN gives Oregon a 67% chance to pull off the upset.
Huh. I guess I'll take Oregon. I'll go with the Power Index. I like their offense against Nebraska. Their defense looked good for a half. And
I'll take Washington State. They also had Hillary win the title. They win the presidential election, so.
ESPN's Power Football Index, because
it's the same formula they use for 538, so. Same people.
Oh, no, I'm scared.
I don't know if
I can't flip back and forth. It's the same algorithms and everything.
Oof. Anyways, that's enough politics for this show. Stanford at number 20, Utah. Stanford is a road favorite.
I don't understand that.
Yeah, I think Utah's
I'm going to take Stanford.
I think Utah's starting quarterback is out right now. Like, he's questionable to play. I think that's the one reason. I was listening to Doug Gottlieb's show, and he had Winningham, Utah's head coach, on there, and he was talking about it. Utah is 4-0 in the year, but Stanford is a 4-point road favorite.
Yeah, I'll take Stanford. I really like their running back.
Bryce Love is good.
He's really good.
Like, super good.
And their line's really good and physical. Utah kind of plays the same style. I think Stanford will just outdo them at it. So.
Yep, so we got Stanford in that one. Other than that, a lot of crappy football this week. So that's unfortunate for Saturday. Good thing Northwest game's on Saturday, so I can put my attention on that for a little bit.
Oh, and you can watch Nebraska lose by 35 to Wisconsin if you want.
Oof. Mizzou goes to Kentucky. They're only a 10-point dog.
You.
I'll probably take Kentucky in the points if I had to. But yeah.
I think that I'm assuming that Wisconsin's going to be favored by like 21 points. I think Nebraska will end up keeping it within like 10. But
I'll look it up for you real quick here. Is it at Wisconsin?
It's at Wisconsin. I just think
no, it's at Lincoln. It's in Lincoln.
Oh yeah, all of our Huff.
What do you think? Okay, now it's in Lincoln. What do you think the spread is?
Also take Wisconsin by 10.
It's 10.5.
Yeah.
Over under Tanner Lee pick six is 1.5.
I'll go under. He actually looked pretty well last week. I think
Mike Riley quarterbacks always get better as the year goes on too.
I mean, they did play Illinois, but Illinois is better than Northern Illinois or who they play the next Rutgers, and Tanner Lee looked good. The defense is finally starting to figure it out a little bit. I don't think that Wisconsin has anything we're really scared of. We play Ohio State the week after, and their outside guys are just going to murder us like always.
What was that score last year? Was it 62-3?
62-3.
Hoy.
You got to have speed on the outside. Nebraska doesn't. They don't.
The one big game in the Big Ten that looks somewhat interesting is Michigan State at Michigan, just because it's a rivalry game. Other than that,
what's Michigan State's record?
3-1. One loss is to Notre Dame.
Ooh. Ew.
Minnesota also plays at Purdue. So.
If that was at Michigan State, I'd give it a little more thought. I'm assuming Michigan will probably stomp on them.
They're a 10-point favorite.
When did D'Antoni's team just fall off a cliff, though?
Whenever Harbaugh, Meyer, and Franklin all started dominating that division.
That's fair. That's a good point. You make a good point.
It's tough to win when you have so many other good coaches in your division in college football.
Yeah, that's
brutal.
He used to be the best coach in the conference, in that side, so that helped. Then they're like, hey, we're going to throw $20 million at these people.
Fair.
I wonder if he'd take the Tennessee job.
Who do you think takes the Tennessee job? Because we're all assuming that Butch Jones is pretty much a dead man walking right now.
He's got to be. If he doesn't get fired, Tennessee should just probably end their program, honestly. He's so bad. He might be like the worst X's and O coach in the SEC, and that's saying something because they're not very good.
Let's just look at Tennessee here real quick.
I'm going to say...
They got South Carolina this week, in 2 weeks. They had a bye week this week. Thank goodness they got stomped by Georgia last week. Then they have at Bama, at Kentucky, versus Southern Miss, at Mizzou, versus LSU, versus Vandy.
The only win on their schedule might be Mizzou.
If they lose at Missouri, that's like...
He'll get fired that week. No lie. If they're like...
I'm not up for firing coaches mid-season, college coaches mid-season. I don't like that.
Well, let's be honest. But should have been fired 2 years ago or last year.
Exactly. I always say wait till the end of the year, but if you get... If you lose at Mizzou...
They should wait till the end of the year.
They should. But if you lose at Mizzou, I can't defend you.
That's fair.
It's like, I was a defender of Charlie Strong, and then he lost to Kansas. I can't defend you. You deserve to be fired. Like, it gets to a point, like, I love you, man, but I can't defend you if you lose to Kansas in football.
That's valid. Yeah, if you lose to Mizzou, they literally can't tackle. Like, they can't. They are not physically capable of tackling people.
If you don't give that running back 40 times that game versus Mizzou to get a win, and it's a close game, if it's close, you're doing something wrong. Just continue to give it to your stud running back and let him run all over Missouri.
Yeah, all right.
All right, Luke's got to go to class. He's got a test he's actually going to go to today, so we're so proud of you for going to class, Luke.
Well, yeah, I can't miss tests. That's a no-go.
So that's it for Friday Take this morning. We're going to end a little bit early, but we'll see you guys next Friday, of course, at 9 to 10 a.m., and then Weekend Sports Kickoff from 2 to 5 in the afternoon. Luke, what's your dumb saying of the day to end us out today?
Bye, have a beautiful time.
Okay. I wasn't that bad, though. So, all right, we will see everybody next Friday from 9 to 10 a.m. here on Friday Take.